For a long time, I thought that family traditions were something that you either did really well or quietly felt like you were failing at, especially around holidays. There's this pressure to create magic, to make things special, to do the right traditions in the right way at the right time, and to somehow keep up with what everyone else is doing. Especially now with social media like Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, seeing all of the incredible things that other moms are doing can easily make me feel like I should be doing all of those things too. There's something really important that I've realized about traditions. Family traditions are not about doing more. They're about finding intentional ways to help your family feel more connected. I've been a mom for 20 years. We have 6 kids. I've thought a lot about family traditions, which ones we chose to do, which ones we let go of, how they got started, and how they've changed as our kids have grown. And today I want to talk about why traditions matter, how to decide which ones are worth starting and keeping, and why they don't need to be expensive or elaborate to be meaningful. Hi, I'm Megan, and welcome back to Moments That Matter. You might be thinking, why are we talking about holiday traditions in February? Well, I have been planning ahead for this year, and my main focus this year is to be more intentional with my family time. And with Valentine's Day coming up, the first holiday of the year, it's had me reflecting on traditions that we've created in our family and why I care so much about continuing some of them and why I'm okay with letting some of them go. At their core, family traditions help create family culture and identity. They give kids a sense of belonging, a sense of this is who we are, and this is what we do in our family. A quiet understanding of this is what our family's about. Traditions are also the perfect opportunity to connect, to slow down, to mark time, and to show our kids that they are seen, they are remembered, and they are worth celebrating. And often it's not the big moments that stick. It's the feeling. It's the repetition. It's the familiarity. Those things build over time. We're repeating traditions year after year. A lot of traditions start because we as parents want to create magic for our children. We want to give them memories. We want to make seasons and holidays feel special. We want to celebrate important milestones and achievements. And sometimes our traditions honor ancestors or cultural and religious heritage. These things are really important to teach our kids and to show our kids what that looks like. But I also think that traditions are for parents too. They help us mark the passage of time. They give structure to seasons that otherwise could just blur together. They create fond memories for us too. Parenting can be super hard, and having cherished memories of family traditions where we truly felt connected are so important to help keep us going forward in our roles and duties as parents when things feel really hard. It makes us feel and understand and remember what it is we're actually doing here, and that our family really is worth it. Traditions also give us something steady to return to when life feels busy or chaotic. So how do we decide which traditions are worth starting and keeping? This is where we can easily get stuck as parents, especially as new parents, overthinking things and want to make sure that we're doing things exactly right and exactly how we should. But here's a couple points to remember that has helped me in deciding whether or not a tradition is worth starting or keeping, and maybe these guidelines will help you too. First, does it increase the connection of our family? Second, does it teach something we value, whether that's faith or culture or family identity? Third, does it create positive, meaningful memories? And four, does the net positive outweigh the stress and inconvenience it may cause to prepare and execute this tradition? And I think this is really important to say out loud. You do not have to do every tradition that everyone else does. Confession, we do not do Elf on the Shelf. For me, the net positive does not outweigh the stress or inconvenience. It doesn't really teach something that we value, and so I decided to never start it. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or bad. There are going to be traditions that are right for our family that aren't right for your family, and vice versa. It is okay to choose your own traditions, and you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. There is no universal checklist for what a good family does during the holidays. There is no right or wrong way to form a family tradition. You get to pick what makes sense for your family. Traditions don't always have to be tied to holidays, but a lot of times they are, because holidays give us a predictable rhythm. When something happens at the same time every year, it's easier to anticipate, repeat, and remember. That said, traditions can also be seasonal, weekly, or tied to specific life moments. One tradition we had in my family growing up is on Saturdays when my dad would bring all of our garbage to the dump, if we rode with him, we would get to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a donut. This was a simple tradition, but very meaningful and very memorable. Traditions can happen as little or as often as you want. It's your family, and you get to decide. Some traditions start very intentionally, like the first Christmas with your first child in your first home, when you really want to establish meaningful traditions from the beginning. But many traditions don't start intentionally at all. They start because you do something once, and then you do it again. Something as simple as a handwritten note inside of a lunchbox, singing a song before bedtime, or eating the same meal on the same day can quietly turn into a tradition over time. There doesn't have to be a big announcement, and you don't have to get it right the first time. You just do it. And if it sticks, it sticks. And it is absolutely okay to stop or change a tradition. It's okay to pause one for a few years and come back to it later. It's okay to let something go if it no longer fits your family's energy. And it's okay to start a new tradition, even 20 years into being a parent. You are not a failure if your family traditions are not perfect. For me personally, I have always loved creating traditions in our family. It's one of my favorite parts of being a mom. I genuinely find it fun. I love creating small moments that feel special or magical for my kids. It's one of the ways that I find joy in motherhood, and it's definitely one of my love languages. It's also been an important part of creating our home and our family culture. And we've loved sharing those traditions with friends and extended family over the years. Some of our kids' most cherished memories are tied to these moments, not because they were extravagant, but because they were familiar and intentional. Another thing I've learned is that traditions aren't static. They can evolve as kids grow. They change as schedules shift, and sometimes they need to be adjusted or simplified. When something doesn't work as well as I thought it would, I just adjust. When life feels too full, I scale back. And when I realize that something isn't working as well as it used to, I let it go. Oftentimes, less is really more. Some of the most meaningful traditions in our family came when I focused less on doing something big and more on reaching my kids individually. For example, on Valentine's Day, I make a candygram for each of my kids, personalized just for them. There's no big party or celebration or big decoration. It's just a simple, fun note that I leave on their bed. And sometimes they're really big posters and sometimes they're smaller posters. It kind of just depends on what I'm able to do that year. Sometimes they get them in the morning when they wake up on Valentine's Day. And sometimes I don't get to it until later and it's there at the end of the day when they get home from school. But for me, it's been a fun way to individually reach each one of my kids and show them that I love them and I remembered them and I like to do special things for them. But it's not the traditions themselves that create meaning. It's the meaning and intent behind what we do that turn moments into meaningful traditions. Thanks for being here with me today. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching and making time with me to capture the moments that matter. If you liked this video, think about subscribing and joining me next time.